Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. I'm going to read your tarot cards. These are weekly tarot readings, and they are general. That means that everything I say will resonate with every single Virgo out there. So please do know that in advance. Come into it with an open heart and an open mind. If it's not your message, it's cool, boo. Come back next week. Maybe it'll resonate then. But do assume it's going out to someone who needs to hear it, even if it is not you. It is my aim, my goal, and my intention that there is some gems and wisdom and insight in this reading for you. So stick around and let's find out. So a couple oracle cards just to start you off, maybe some positive confirmations or affirmations. Believe in yourself, unleash your inner unicorn. Love it. I think Cancer had this one as well. It's something about this is also very Aquarian to me, the unique unicorn of the zodiac. So any of you who maybe have a strong Aquarius in your chart, double confirmation. This one says commit to self-care rituals. Absolutely. Now is a good time to focus on your health and your well-being. And I would even argue because in fact you are sun sign Virgos, or depending on if you're watching your moon sign, if you do have a lot of concentrated Virgo in your chart, sometimes because you rule over the 6th house, there can be complications in health. There can be issues that arise. By no means am I casting a shadow on this. I don't do fear-based readings, but it may be saying like, you know, go to your yearly checkup or your yearly physical or whatever it is. Don't put that stuff off, because for Virgos in particular, your body is your temple. Yes, for everybody, but specifically for Virgo, you are an earth sign. It's very important for you guys to take good care of your body. So simple reminder, right? And then this last one says, today holds unlimited possibilities to see the beauty in life. This is about like zoom out, have a different perspective on life today, if only for a few hours, but you know, maybe for a few days, maybe for a few weeks. There may be something that you're overlooking, or I'm even going to say in a nice way, taking for granted because it's so normal, because it's so routine to you. It's something you wake up every day and naturally have or do or are able to acquire. So it's saying make sure you're appreciating the small things, not only so that you can sort of align yourself to what you want to gain, but also if you're constantly living in that, well, what am I missing that's making me unhappy? You're missing out on a lot of like the beautiful things you already have around you. And you're kind of setting yourself up for that kind of depression or anxiety of always needing something more to feel happy. It's about being happy in your surroundings now, expressing gratitude for what you have, especially to the universe, right? If that's how you're manifesting. So do I want to use this deck? Nah, let's use this deck. All right, let's hop into the tarot for Virgo. I love these cards, these oracle cards. I think they're so beautiful. It is a new deck. Oh boy, new deck that I just got. If you're going through financial worries or trouble, there may be a solution to your problems coming in. It could be a solid piece of advice. Some of you may go to seek a financial counselor, financial advisor, or there could be an offering of a job, or if you applied for a loan or a scholarship or something, there could be a payout or a handout. There may be an unexpected bonus check, and I mean, yes, it could be the whole like government checks coming out depending on where you are in the world, but it might be something else. Like I mean, I'm literally seeing $25, so I know that's not huge, that's not going to solve your financial worries, but in addition to all those other messages about financial aid, you could win like some random like magazine giveaway, or you know, like those Instagram giveaways, like for the value of $25 here's like, I don't know, like a backpack, or some of you may win something via a giveaway. So it's not huge, but that's what I mean. It's like there's little blessings coming into you. Interesting. Okay. So what is the storyline for Virgo this week? What does Virgo need to know in the tarot? What can I advise them on? This deck is also new, so it's a little stiff. It's a little hard to shuffle. Oh, all right, here we go. Virgo. Ooh, an ending. All right. Ruin. Oh my gosh, Virgo. What the hell are you going through? 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands. You've been carrying a lot of sadness around for a really long time. And I am going to get you solutions. I'm going to give you the messages that came out first, which is, ouch, what is hurting in your life? Let me help you solve this, or give you at least some advice or shine some light on it. Because there's something that's been going on for a very long time, but instead of addressing it, it's almost easier for you to detach from it and continue on with work, or I almost get this like continue putting on a good face and smiling and oh, everything is fine. Only it's really taking its toll emotionally, but also mentally on you. It's become a physical burden to not have healed this part. So it could even be an illness. I don't predict that on my channel ever. In fact, technically this is kind of showing up in the past, maybe kind of the present. So the thing is, I think you are moving away from it, especially if this Knight of Cups represents healing, right? The healing waters of love, essentially, right? I think this is about tending to your wounds and getting in touch with those. For a lot of you, it feels like emotions have been very heavy or turbulent. You may have gone through a really difficult breakup, and I think a lot of you are like, I'm just going to put on my game face and I'm going to get through this. But I think if I may, the error that you're overlooking is that by more or less metaphors, right? Slapping a Band-Aid on it, like, okay, well, that'll heal in time, but are you actually doing the internal work to kind of look at what transpired and understand why you were feeling this way? It's one thing to acknowledge, I don't feel good and I need to work on this. But I think a lot of you are looking at this as, okay, by working on this, I'm no longer going to acknowledge that this person hurt me. I'm going to move away. I get that only, and I know this is sensitive, but I'm almost getting, by not acknowledging it though, you're still carrying around kind of the internal pain that needs to be healed. So this is a really good time for self-reflection and taking a break, committing to self-care. Self-care does not always mean, dumb examples, but, buying a gallon of ice cream and doing Netflix. That's one form of self-care. But another really important form of self-care is shadow work, going kind of to those dark places, knowing that you're with purpose. That's what's important here. Going to those shadow sides, those shadows places with the purpose of being solution-oriented. Obviously, no one wants to visit these ideas, these memories, because it does trigger things. But within those triggers, you can be very analytical and understand, why am I feeling this way? Is it technically them doing something to me? Am I the victim? Or essentially, am I allowing their words to impact me negatively by taking them on as my truth? If that makes sense. It is a time to do some shadow work so that you can finally release yourself from this totally. For a lot of you, this feels like a breakup that has already transpired, and even if you're putting yourself out there again and hitting up the dating apps, it does kind of seem like there's a part of you that never really severed ties with like the heavy shit that went down. So again, I am here to help and empower and support you, but the first message here is that you are doing yourself a disservice by running from your problems. I know, that's a heavy one. Love that the Knight of Cups is showing up because it's saying you need to move towards love, but first and foremost, you need to move towards loving yourself. And by default, loving yourself means loving yourself enough to understand what happened to you. I wouldn't say what was done to you. I think already that's putting the perspective of accountability and ownership on someone else. You engaged in this relationship, you took that job, whatever, and it's not about blaming yourself, but it's about understanding the choices you made. So now in hindsight, or what I say, hindsight is 2020. Now in the present, you can look back and be like, okay, I chose to do it that way once and it really didn't work out for me. So I am going to choose, I have agency to do something differently this time. But if you don't look back analytically and understand maybe where the errors or mistakes were, they don't even have to be that, just the choices you made. Okay, you get to take away that value of knowledge, the lessons you learned to mix up the ingredients, to try something new, right? Again, it's not about blaming you. I wouldn't even say these are mistakes. Like, let's just say, okay, you were destined to go through this because you came out a warrior on the other side. And I think part of that's, I hope I'm not offending, but part of that scares you to make these wounds your wisdom, because essentially you do have to address what went down. And that's the part where I see a lot of you guys just like, ooh, that's uncomfortable. I don't want to. I really do think there is value in understanding sort of this unfortunate situation that it did transpire. So let's not look at it that way. Let's just try and get the pearls, the gems, the wisdoms, and how you can implement them in your life to bring in new love or whatever you're looking for, new opportunities, new blessings, new abundance. Today holds unlimited possibilities. See the beauty in life. And for some of you, this could just be the idea of depression, thoughts weighing very heavily on your mind, especially regarding your performance, the idea of perfectionism or not meeting other people's standards. I see this as very conflicted because I think there's a lot of Virgos out there who you do recognize how great you are, but then it's like, but why doesn't anyone else see it? I sort of get this this dynamic, that was the wrong word, this duality. The duality of like, I love myself and I do feel like I'm great, and yet why do I always end up matching with people who really test that part of me where I diminish my value by entertaining them or engaging with them? So the mere fact that you're making these connections means that you are very self-aware. And again, that's one step to something greater. So don't beat yourself up. The fact that you're recognized, like, I do have so much value and I'm such a good partner, I'm such a good worker, I'm such a good whatever. Absolutely you are. That's fantastic that you're recognizing it. Now it's about using I'm almost getting like your internal GPS to find people who really match your vibe, who are on your level and not needing to cater to those who more or less, are a step below you in terms of their like emotional maturity. When people tell you what they want or what they're looking for, you best take them at their word, right? Now, if they're telling you everything you want to hear and their actions aren't matching up, that's a red flag. But ultimately, if let's just say you're looking to date and someone's like, well, I'm not really looking for anything serious, but like I'm open to it, I would take them at their word for the first part of that sentence. I'm not really looking for anything serious. Well, if you are, save yourself the hassle, because in a sense, it's like by projecting this idealized version of what they could be onto them versus what they actually are, you're going to end up carrying this loaded weight, this sorrow, this heaviness again. So I think you're going through sort of a spiritual awakening, and I think that's very evident by this card. It's like your spirit guides are trying to align you to the right people, but this is really important. Are you ready to let go of the people who don't match your vibe? And unfortunately, I am sort of getting the idea that you can't have both. Not right now. You can't hold on to the people of the past and hope they come around and manifest new things that are truly better for you. I think it would show tremendous maturity and intelligence and commitment and faith that if you think the universe is saying to you, I know you love this person, but trust me, I took them out of your life for a reason. Do you have faith in the universe that was destined, that was divine guidance looking out for you, right? Like rejection is divine protection. So let's take it to the next level then. Do you have faith that there is someone out there better for you? Do you? And so if that's where you're struggling, that's sort of an internal conversation you need to have with yourself. Why are you lacking faith? Right? And I don't have the answer. That's on you. What's coming in for Virgo? Or actually, I'm going to ask it this way. I'll try and ask that one if I remember at the end, but what is Virgo needing to take more strides towards? Valuing yourself independently, knowing that you don't need the admiration, endorsement, acceptance of those around you. As long as you're doing good by you, as long as you know you're giving your best effort, you need to draw healthy boundary lines, right? Not be trying to cater to everyone around you. You need to ask other people in your life to step up for. You need to learn to ask for help. That's hard, I know. I struggle with that myself. It's very important to be able to ask for help. And in a sense, that does have to do with our ego. It sometimes bruises our ego to feel like we can't manage and handle it all ourselves. It's just the opposite. It shows strength of character that you value yourself enough to not burn the candle at both ends, to know when you do need to ask for help, Virgo. Some of you may end up moving. There may be an opportunity that would require you to, move houses or homes, move jobs, move locations. Some of you are on the cusp of deciding to fully immerse yourself in a new chapter. Even if it doesn't involve a physical move, it's almost like a spiritual move away from energies that were really keeping your vibe low. So for a lot of you, it really does feel more romantically inclined, like matching with a karmic partner who in the end you kind of realized, ooh, that didn't work out well for me. If it's not that, it could always be leaving a job, but in metaphor, it was like a job that really kept you really stifled, always feeling like you were being written up or in trouble, or like your performance was never good enough. I'm not saying that your reading of that, your intuition wasn't somewhat valid, but I also think you are terribly critical of yourself in ways that other people don't even think about. So that's just something for you to be aware of. And again, practicing self-love, practicing positive affirmations to yourself. I know it's cheesy, but there really is something to it, because if you don't believe you're deserving of something, well, neither is the employer offering you the job. Neither is your romantic suitor, offering you a date or partnership. Like, you need to fully believe that you are awesome, and you are. That's what these cards are saying. But it gets lost in translation somewhere internally, and I think it's because your karmic lesson, in a sense, Virgo, may be to detach from the idea of needing to serve others all the time and to let others serve you, to let other people come in and help you. There's a big focus on health and wellness in the coming weeks. Some of you may be wanting to make love offers to a Sagittarius, but I sense that the Sagittarius doesn't know what they want. They seem very on the fence of if they're in or out. That could even be a long-term relationship you've had with them. Yeah, there's a lot of thought and contemplation, again, with whoever this person or situation was. Some of you are going to decide that the person you essentially put up on a pedestal and you once saw them as your everything and just the absolute pinnacle of what you wanted in life or what you aspired to be or who you aspired to be with. After some reflection, I know this is hard to believe because you may not be here yet. After some really like deep reflection and maybe journaling, even maybe talking to a counselor about this, you're going to realize that you sort of created this fictitious narrative in your head of what could be versus what was. And I think that's where you sort of got swept away in the emotions. The Knight of Cups is sort of my hopeless romantic knight. And so what's positive is that with a little bit of self-reflection and really, your analytical skills, Virgo, those really do serve you. I think you're going to understand that if this person was so hard to convince to love you or to give you that job or whatever the situation is, I think in time you're going to realize, well, I guess it just wasn't worth my time. And so in which case, I'm going to move on and find something who is in alignment. Someone who, when I put myself out there and offer them my time, my love, my energy, they're stoked to take me up on it, right? It's like you are their wish come true. A lot of you, I think it's time to move past the person who was ambivalent about you. The one who just really didn't know where they fit in your life or vice versa. It's not that they were a bad person, just they didn't know what they want, and that didn't work because you were certain that's what you wanted. And so this essentially does sort of come as a humbling lesson of, again, taking people at their word and, what they are showing you, their actions speaks volumes about who they are as a person. So if this person is not calling you back and not returning your texts and, not doing those favors you asked to, if you did ask for help and they couldn't return on those, more or less, there's blockages in communication, but I also think in a weird way, it's the divine stepping in to say, yeah, do you see how this isn't working and it's not helping your life? It's actually hindering you. It's actually making you feel worse. It's making you feel shitty about yourself. Again, I would offer that's difficult. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but in the long run, that's a blessing that you're starting to realize that. So a lot of you are wrapping up a cycle with something or someone that was really keeping you stuck for a long time. Some of you have a Cancer or a Scorpio. I'm almost getting, this is funny, like almost I'm hearing along came a spider, but it's not in the creepy sense. It's like divine. It's almost like it comes down in a cobweb. Does that make sense to anyone? And I mean, that may have literally happened to you the other day. And I know your initial reaction is, ugh, spiders. It's not that. It's like it comes out of the clear blue. So I don't think this, I want to be clear because I'm very much a tarot reader who needs to preach this to you all because it's my integrity on the line. Just because you get out of a breakup doesn't mean the universe is like, okay, send Virgo a new one. It doesn't work that way. You need to give yourself a period of time and healing to fully rid yourself of this so that you're not bringing that baggage into a new relationship. Not because it doesn't make you deserving, right, that you got your heart broken. I'm not saying that you need to be perfect going into a new relationship, but it is essentially a sign of respect for the person you're about to engage with further, that you're coming in with a clean slate and good intentions of, I'm here for you. I'm not here for you if my ex doesn't call me, because that's kind of fucked up, right? You wouldn't want someone doing that to you. What I'm saying is, if you just go balls to the wall, like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this. I need to heal myself. I need to get my life back together. I need to fucking crush it in areas of life that bring me joy and happiness. I need to tend to my self-care. I need to remember I'm badass and I love myself. That's when out of the clear blue, when you take steps forward to show the universe you are in it for you, right? You love yourself. Along came a spider, and again, it's not a bad thing. There's something about it's very magical, almost in like a spirit guide sense. Some of you may, in fact, have an ancestor who is a Cancer or a Scorpio that's sort of looking out for you. I do think there's something that comes in, and whether it is romantic or not, it's an offer with the Knight that's going to make you very happy. It brings you a sense of joy and pleasure. That's really important here. It may even come in the form of a Libra. It doesn't have to, but more or less, I think this is saying to me with justice. There is justice. There is balance in this life that you're living. As much as it seems like you've been shouldering the burden for a lot of people, that in itself is not your story anymore. I mean, you can choose for it to be your story as long as you want, but when you finally recognize, no, like, I deserve more than this. Like, I'm kind of overdoing all, like, the blood, sweat, and tears in a relationship and having nothing back, Relationships are 50-50. I think what's coming in is someone who offers great balance to your life. Now, maybe this has to do with a job where not only do you feel like respected by your boss and your coworkers, you're also appreciated. People let you know with verbal affirmations or however you want to say it that your being here is a blessing and we appreciate you, right? That feels so good to hear. Doesn't that just make you light up? And it has nothing to do with feeding your ego. It's just more or less, I think you want to feel as though you are making a difference, right? That you are positively contributing to the world, just a little piece at a time. And that's very normal. That's a very humanistic trait to want to feel like we're doing something good with our life. I think you need to stop looking exterior of what you can do to make your life better. And you need to start looking interior. How can you make you better? And again, this is not criticism or judgment. I think you have put yourself on the back burner one too many times and it's finally catching up with you. So this is almost like peeling back the layers of an onion to get to the core of, well, where are these issues stemming from? Internally, they are stemming from you. And I know this is hard to hear. I really need to emphasize, I'm saying this with compassion, but more or less, you are choosing to take these jobs. You are choosing to work with these people. There are certainly circumstances where maybe, victim of circumstance. Sure, that may apply here, but it's about what you do with that title. Are you going to carry that title around? Oh, well, I'm the victim of circumstance. Again, I would challenge you, as hard as it is, to take accountability for the decisions you made and not point the finger of blame, but ultimately be like, okay, you know what? I did choose to engage in a partnership that ultimately I learned it didn't serve me. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to forgive yourself. You're not going to feel guilty or resentful or beat yourself up anymore. You've done enough of that. This is about offering yourself love, offering almost like an apology to the younger version of yourself. Because here's the thing, you are all the more wiser for going through this, Virgo. You're going to get yourself back up. You're going to pull yourself back up. You're going to be your own hero. You're going to save the day. The way you save the day for everyone else, now you need to do it for yourself. And it's like you need to hit reset and decide what you're going to go after purely for your own enjoyment, for your own satisfaction, because you feel good when you do that activity, but you feel good when you, I don't know, whatever it is, it really is about treating yourself. Commit to self-care rituals. That needs to be your motto or your credo for the next minimum month or two. I would say, throughout the course of your life, but now is a period of time. Temperance showed itself, the angel of healing, the angel of love. It's about practicing good, healthy techniques in honoring yourself and your self-love. There is justice in the world, and I think some of you are going through this crisis of, why am I being punished? Again, by choosing to look at it through that lens, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity for wisdom and insight. You have not been forgotten, but I see that you are going through a struggle. The tarot is confirming that for me. So a lot of you, I see you choosing to no longer wait on someone who wasn't sure about you, because essentially I'm sort of getting, I actually love this kind of saying, or I don't know how you want to phrase it, this mindset of, they're not going to choose me. Okay, that's cool. That's their path. That's their choice, but I choose me. I'm always going to choose me. So if this person doesn't see the value in me, like, bitch, please, I don't have time for you anymore. And that is a hard lesson to learn when you do have a lot of feelings and affection for someone. But again, I challenge you to think, why are you putting this person up on a pedestal when they don't do the same for you? Balance, harmony. A lot of you, there's a Libra either coming or going. So if you're with a Libra, that may be ending. For most of you, I think this is new. You may even have an old Libra. I don't think it's that. I think you have something coming in that's and you guys are next to each other in the zodiac sign. So a lot of similarities between Virgo and Libra. I feel like there's something good coming in with a Libra. If it doesn't have to do with a Libra, it could have to do with a new contract. It could have to do with a new job. And we can be creative in how we choose to view this. It could be a soul contract, a new commitment to love yourself, right? It's like sign on the dotted line. You are now priority number one in your own life, Virgo. Some of you, there may be communications coming in regarding, again, a job offer or possibly something with a male a male earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But I did say air, so maybe that came out for a reason. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, especially a female air sign. It could even be a family member who's just, wanting to hang out with you and make sure that you're okay. You have the Four of Wands. I like that. Nine of Pentacles. Venus and Virgo. Loving yourself. This is about establishing a solid foundation for yourself. That's really, truly what this message is. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So if you are tapped out, if you are stressed out, if you are anxious, if you are depressed, you need to be your own self-advocate, right? Maybe you need to talk to someone, whether a multitude of people who, family members, financial advisors, therapy or counselors, right? For romantic partnership or whatever. You need to do this kind of work and establish a solid foundation for yourself so that you have just something to give yourself, because right now I'm sensing you barely have that. So before you start entertaining giving things to your job or to your work or to your kids or to your husband or whatever this is, you got to make sure you're okay. And I do see you making progress and strides when you decide to detach from something that was really hindering your ability to grow. Yeah, I like a pairing of Libra and Virgo here. It could eventually, if you're just looking for some high vibrational messages of maybe what's to come, if you really engage and do the self-work, there could be potential like soulmate type energies or marriage, some sort of foundation built between a Libra and a Virgo. So maybe this is for the cross watchers too, who knows? But yeah, I do like that. And you both offer something to each other and it is evenly balanced. Right? The 4, I like that. Even the 11, something about like soulmate energy. You have 11 and the 4 of Wands next to each other. I do like that. But you have to remember that you're showing up here too. So again, aligning your soul to its highest vibrations so that you have something to offer to yourself before you start offering it to other people. All right, Virgo, this was a heavy one this week, but we did it. We made it to the end. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I hope this did truly help someone. That's really why I do tarot. As fun as it is to do, who's coming in, weekly love readings, I feel like these messages are so much more important and potentially life-changing, right? So thank you for sticking with me. If it's not your message and you made it this far, awesome. Thanks. I appreciate you supporting my channel. Other than that, please do remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next Wednesday for more tarot readings. Bye, Virgo.